Welcome to Strange Sculpting, where we redefine strength and sculpt success, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Welcome to the weekly Resilience Podcast. I'm Don Strange with my lovely co-host, Cynthia Mandel. That's how we always
Hi,
start out.
everyone.
A wave, do that princess wave like it. There you go. I guess you look like just like what's that, Snow White. So, Cynthia, how are you? Since the last podcast, are you doing good?
I'm doing great. Yes, Don. Thank you so much.
I
Just
like whenever
sitting on
people
my
say,
patio. Say
"Yeah,
what?
your patio is beautiful." She lives in beautiful
Paradise.
Florida. Oh, I
Yes,
don't.
but in August, we probably won't be doing a podcast with me on the patio
No,
because
no.
my computer will melt.
It will. It will. You know what cracks me up, Cynthia, whenever people say, I'm so excited, because I hear that all the time. They're not excited. I just seen you before you got on stage and you weren't that excited. But I am kind of excited about today's podcast because I've got a lot of one-liners I want to bring in here today based upon.
Doesn't he always, people?
So today's podcast is about you didn't fall off the wagon. People fall off the wagon all the time. But most people, Cynthia, don't fall off the wagon. They're never in the wagon. So today, if I was going to title today's podcast, is to be "You didn't fall off the wagon. You set the wagon on fire," because most people are never in the wagon to begin with. Because most people are on the standard American diet. We just see food and we eat it. A lot of junk food, 80%, 82.2% population is overweight, obese, or severely obese. And so before we get into the falling off the wagon, because everybody needs to get in the wagon, what would you say to people? Most people, because you learn so much working with me. But would you agree with me on that fact that most people aren't in a wagon and they need to get on a good plan to help them? They need to understand the basics of nutrition.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why everybody yo-yos,
Yeah,
because there isn't something that they can do full term. This is not, they're doing, let me try this. And if you want to lose 5 or 10 pounds, sometimes those things are great. Like your Fit 40 is fabulous for that. It gives you
yeah,
that solid, good, hard rock start. But people who need to lose a lot of weight, that's not really in their wheelhouse, because
yep,
that is we want to change our mind, change our relationship, mind and relationship with food. You can't
mm,
do that when you're restricting every single thing. Yes, we're going to restrict some things because we're not going to eat everything we want. There's an
mm.
old saying, you can eat anything you want, but not everything you want.
I don't like that
So,
saying. I like to eat everything I want, Cynthia.
me too, babe.
Mhm.
Me too. However, it does not give us the results we're looking for. But with the plan that we have, that's why it's so easy, is because you can basically eat anything you want. As long as it fits in your little macro box, you eat it. Now,
Yep,
obviously, I don't want you to eat things like, drive through every day. First of all, that would eat all of your calories with one drive through. So I
oh,
don't
you ain't
that's
lying. You ain't lying.
So I don't suggest that at all. But what it's more about is like what John said. I love that statement. Not that we put the wagon on fire, but the fact that most people never get in the wagon because they
Yep,
haven't put themselves on a lifestyle that's going to
that's
work.
right. That's right.
So that's what we want to do, is we want to help you do that. And then for the people who are doing that, what do you do? How do you make yourself, like you're on this path, boop, 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 and all of a sudden you're rerouting out this way. How do you get your GPS to put you back on this road where you're supposed to be? That's what I think we should talk about today,
I
is
agree with that.
because we're gonna help everybody, but the people who are putting in the effort, the
Yep,
people who are really trying every day, we want to help them to know that the first thing is that's not a failure. Don't quit,
yep,
because once you quit, you're done. So never quit. That's my life philosophy. Never quit. No matter what the devil throws at you, no matter what you throw at yourself, never quit. Because when you quit, you're done.
yep.
Um, so I want you to know that, there's I'm gonna give you another old saying, Don. You ready?
I love the old saying, Cynthia.
Sometimes we take 5 steps forward, and then we take 8 steps back, and then we take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and then all of a sudden we do 10 steps forward and no steps back. So it's a
Yeah.
process. Life is like a roller coaster. Did I ever tell you I don't like roller coasters? No.
Well, first of
Did
all,
I tell you that?
that was a long saying. I'll never remember that saying because I understand the gist of it. But
That was a few seconds.
I was thinking that was going to be like one sentence, but it was like
No,
I've heard sometimes you take 5 steps back when you take three steps
that was the
forward
saying,
and
and I
5 steps
just
back.
kept
But
going.
you just kept going. It's like sometimes that's a
I made
long
it a
saying.
very long
Yeah.
saying.
We need to put that in a shirt. Sometimes you
Yeah,
take 10 steps, five
you
steps
need
forward, then you
somebody
take
that
10
needs
steps back,
300
then you take three
pounds.
steps forward, and you take, I like that. But the reason why I thought I was laughing earlier, Cynthia, is
Tell me.
because we said you need to get in the box. This is actually about us. What do we tell ourselves? Because I was on vacation, Cynthia, and it's crazy because I fall off the wagon, but I don't set the wagon on fire because I know the parameters and the border in which I live. And when I fall off the wagon, like because whenever you're laughing, it's like this is you're speaking to me as a trainer. I do this all the time. But I fall off the freaking wagon all the time. It's like, get back up. The way you said this, don't quit. That's it. Don't quit. We were on vacation. We went to Texas. Me and my wife went to Cane's. I love Cane's chicken. Chicken. What you picking? That's what they say. Unfortunately, I didn't memorize that. I get a job there. Put that in my resume. And so I told her before we drive, and I said, get a Can combo. If you don't know what that is, it's freaking these Kringle fries, a large Coke, and then it's 6 pieces of freaking fried chicken, Cynthia. I wish I didn't have that memorized, but that's what it is. So we got. I said, get one too. She said, I don't want that much. I want to get the one of the three finger combo. I said, it's only three. She said, yeah, I could do the math. I said, well, get all of them. I'm not gonna eat that many. I'm gonna eat them, and I'm eating these, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? Well, I ate 9 freaking pieces of chicken, fried chicken. Well, I say this though: if it's fried, it has to burn up all the calories. Nothing could live in there. I wish that was real science. But
I wish it was too.
after I got done eating this freaking fried chicken, I think, what are you doing? But it's not the little bitty. It's like the. It's not the one thing that you do. It's what the culmination of what you do all the time. And so, if I continue that, I'd be as big as a barn. But I don't. I say, okay, stop. And that's the reason why I'm so glad you said, hey, what are we going to talk about today? You texted me this. I said, you said. I said, what are we going to talk about? You said, well, I've been thinking, what do you do when you fall off the wagon? I said, my God, preach it because I need to hear it. What are you going to do when you fall off the wagon? Just got back on vacation. I don't want to get back on the thing. Once you get to taste it, once you eat the forbidden fruit, it's like, I just keep on putting it. And it's like, I read a study and then people have said sugar is not addicting. Yeah, it is. It's freaking really addicting.
Oh, without a doubt, addicting.
And then somebody,
Without a
I
doubt.
heard this freaking moronic expert on TV. He said, or on Instagram, and he's got like a white jacket on. It seemed like it was supposed to be a doctor. He said that sugar's not addicting. And then he talked about the science behind it. And he said, it's all in the mind. Yeah, that's where addictions are, you freaking moron. It's all in the mind. Anyway, so it ticks me off. I'm mad because I
I can
understand
hear
it's like
that.
I get ahead. So I think the right thing is don't start over. If you got a good plan, don't start over. Just resume what you were doing before. And so I got
Exactly.
off this. So the number one thing that I would tell people, if you got a good plan and you know you can live that lifestyle, don't beat yourself up. You fall off the wagon, get back up. Don't start over. Just resume.
That's exactly what it is. It's not because life is not smooth. You don't have to start over every time you do a mistake. Otherwise, you'd never get anywhere.
Yeah.
Like the small tweaks make big peaks. We got to remember that every little thing we do, and every now and then it's okay to eat things, enjoy yourself Christmas, special occasion, you're on vacation, you're on a cruise. Excuse me. There isn't almost anybody that gets off a cruise ship that has not indulged the whole week they were there.
Oh
Very
yeah.
few people. You could do a survey. So
Oh, it's
it's
everybody.
not, so we don't want you to look at that as doing something wrong. The main thing for people who are what I call compulsive eaters, it's the same, it gives you endorphins. So the
Mm-hmm.
main thing is that we tend to. Okay, so I'm going to start this is the thing everybody says, and you know it, Don. People tell you this all the time. I'm going to start on Monday. But what you do between Wednesday and Monday, you eat everything you can fit in your mouth
Yeah.
because you know after Monday you can't have it anymore. That's a mentality that's going to say, I can't have this, then I want it more. It's back to the way we think.
Hmm.
Because when you say you're not allowed to, your brain goes, "Oh, yes, I do. I can do whatever I want to do because I'm the
Hmm.
brain." So that's one of the things that is so important is that, like you said, you're not starting over. You went down the wrong block, so you're making a U-turn and going right back on the right road. It's
I
a lifestyle.
100%. You know what's funny is you said people have these expectations. They go on these, and I'm gonna put it in my terms. People go on vacation, they feel bad about themselves. Don't feel bad for yourself. But this is the reason why they do. Expectations minus results is conflict, and so they go on an expectation. They have this conflict inside them because they had expectations. Be real. Whenever I went, I had false expectations. Went to Texas. I said I'm going to do this, and I didn't do it. And so because of that, I had this conflict in my mind. If I'd have been honest with myself when I went, Cynthia, and I would have set parameters that I knew that I would abide by, I wouldn't. I would have felt encouraged rather than discouraged when I got back from vacation. Instead, I beat myself up like crazy. So settle in your mind what you're going to do before you go on vacation. Before you do anything, settle in your mind. Am I going to do this? What's a framework of success I'm going to live in? And then if you go outside there, get back in. And so it's basically just get back on the wagon. But I would always tell people, I tell people going on vacation or anywhere else, be realistic. And then just do what you say. Whenever you honor self commitment, it makes you feel good. Whenever you don't, so I would say, have a plan. And if your plan is to eat everything, yeah, that's great, eat everything. I would probably quantify it even more, though. Say, I'm going to go on vacation. That way you have a win. Say, hey, I'm going on a cruise. I'm going to eat breakfast from a 15-minute breakfast. Whatever I can eat in 15 minutes, I'm going to eat it. Obviously, it's not a Nathan hot dog eating contest, but then I'm going to say that's it because you can fill up in 15 minutes, right? And then do that. Block it where that way you're having a successful framework. Even if you gain a pound on vacation, you'll make yourself feel better because you were in the guidelines of your own plan. Because people fall off. If you don't have a plan, it's like the old Zig Ziglar saying, fail to plan, plan to fail. And so have a plan. Anyway, and also I'd say this. I'd say my second key. So my first key would be don't start over, just resume, go back to what you were. I think my second key would this. And this is going to sound crazy. Shrink your goal. It goes in it. Shrink your goal. If your goal is so outlandish, people have these, and you know this because I'm sure you've done it, Cynthia. I'm going to lose 100 pounds in 10 weeks. 10 weeks. No, you can't do that. Shrink your freaking goal to something that's going to be realistic. People have these unrealistic expectations. I can tell you this one guy that I shrank said that he lost 15 pounds in a week. If you lose 15 pounds in a week, that means that you have a lot of weight because most people can't do that. So that was great. I was very happy. But in the back of my mind, I was very discouraged because I knew what was going to happen. It wasn't 15 pounds of fat. It was 15 pounds. It was probably 8 pounds of fat if she's lucky, 7 pounds of water. It could have been vice versa. It could have been 10 pounds. But regardless, it could have been 10 pounds of water and 5 pounds of fat. He lost a lot of fat because he was probably 360 pounds. Got it? That being said, I knew immediately. I said, "Oh, this sucks," because I
That's a
told
bad
myself,
thing. Yes. That
I said,
expectation to go
"Oh
lose
my
15
gosh,"
pounds.
because you're not. He was like, "Don, your plan works so good." I said, and you know how I am so blunt. I said, "It doesn't work. It doesn't work that good. It doesn't." And he's like, "No, man, it's so good." I said, "Yeah, but let me just help you. Don't get too excited about the lows and don't get too discouraged about the highs. You got to, because weight loss is not linear. It's like a stock ticker on a bear market. If you guys are investors, it goes like this. It don't go straight down. And I said, so next week you're gonna have a bump up. I don't want to tell you this, man. I don't want to. The last thing I want to do is tell you that you're going to go up in the scale next week, but you're going to because it's not all fat. It's water. I'm not going to get the science behind it, but I probably told you before what that is. But regardless, weight loss, nonetheless, shrink your goal. Be realistic. What am I willing to do? What you're willing to do versus what you can do. We say it all the time. Shrink your goal. I'm going to work out 3 times this week. That's it. I'm going to work out 45 minutes. Have that, set that, and do it, and then it'll make you feel good. But don't say I'm going to work out 6 times a week and then go 3, and then like, oh my gosh, I messed up. No, 3's good if that's what you're willing to do. People have so much unrealistic expectations of what they're willing to do. Just be honest. Have an honest conversation with yourself for the first time in your life, Cynthia. I'm talking to you. Have an honest conversation with yourself. No, actually, you do all the time. I just get passionate and then I want to yell
Well,
at you, Cynthia.
that's what I love about you. That was one of the first things when we started working together that really resonated with me was that you are passionate about what you do and you care about your clients.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course, there's a charge. We have to make money. It's a business, blah, blah, blah. But you care about your clients. You care that they're successful. You want them to do well, which is very, very important.
yeah,
If you remember back when we first started working out and working together, and I went on a cruise, you
yep,
bumped my calories 500 calories a day so that I wouldn't have to worry about what I was eating.
yeah,
So it was right at around what they say the daily account
yeah,
for a
yeah,
woman is. But it was easy to, once you give yourself a plan
yeah,
and once you learn how to know, well, if I eat this much, this is about what this is. Like I can look at something now and say, that's about this many calories. Except when I found out the very first time somebody bought me a piece of cake. It was from Whole Foods. They were so sweet. I was sick. They were trying to give me something to make me feel better. I looked at the calories on that thing. It was 700 calories for a piece of chocolate cake. I would have not thought a piece of chocolate cake would be 700 calories. I would have done three. I would have been way off. Okay.
yeah,
What do you always say about the way that people, they like 500 calories, they
yeah. They
underestimate?
underestimate their calories about 500 a week or 500 a day. Yep,
Isn't that
easily.
nuts? Anyway, so that's why writing it down in the MyFitnessPal app or whatever app you choose to use, I don't get paid by them. That's the
I
most
wish.
important thing because you're keeping track. And I don't care if you're eating 5,000 calories a day in the beginning. Let's say you're not on a plan, download it now. Get comfortable with writing down everything you eat. Get comfortable with learning how many calories each thing is. So
Yep.
that when you decide to join us and let us help you, you will already have an idea of how you want to lower your caloric intake
Hmm.
and what you're willing to do. That's like we're just talking about, boosting my 1 day a week,
Yeah.
adding a little bit more right in the beginning of May. Because we're on a journey to become stronger for the surgery I'm about to have. So
Hmm.
we do it very easy. Like Don's like, no, you can't change this now. When
Yep.
I started to do something, I'm like, I want to add one. We started with 2 sets. And I said, I want to add more. You said, okay, I'll add an extra set to each, but I'm not adding any more exercise until I was consistent. Because if you can't be consistent with the small, you can't be consistent with the big. It's like tithing. If you can't be trusted with your small 10%, how's God going to make you a millionaire and he can trust you with that big 10%?
Yeah.
The same thing. So consistency is the thing. And the biggest thing is, especially people who are overweight, people in general, maybe that's a wrong statement, not just overweight people. People in general tend to beat themselves up.
Oh yeah.
I think that if you asked 20 people and they were honest, at least 15 of them would admit that they would never let anybody else talk to them the way they talk to themselves. I used to say that
Yeah.
when I was healing from all of the trauma that I went through and becoming the person I am now. I used to say, if I could only be as good of a friend to myself as I am to other people, I would have it. Now I love me.
You
So good.
know, it's interesting what you said there because it's shame. Shame is one of the lowest levels of thinking you can do because it doesn't help you, doesn't benefit you anyway. It just keeps you in that perpetual state of unhappiness. And so you do something bad, you feel bad about it. Well, you feel bad. And if you're a Christian, you just pick up the good book. And the Bible says in 1 John 1 and 9, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So that's good. That's as far as your sins. But the same thing with you eat something bad. Hey, admit it, quit it, and forget it. Who cares? Don't let shame push you around because it's going to push you right back to the same thing it's going to beat you with. So it says, eat that. I don't want to. I feel so bad eating that. Then you eat it, and it tastes so good. Man, eat me, eat it, and then it beats you. So don't let it beat you. Say, shame, get away from me. I don't want any shame. The third thing I would say, this is what I'd say too, Cynthia. The third thing I would do for people is track one thing. If I said track one thing, and then do it. I don't remember exactly how I started with you as far as what I think we started. I gave you the kit and caboodle. You did everything from the start, but it was doable. Like I always say, it's what you're not what you can do, it's what you're willing to do. And I always put the program in what you're willing to do. You have to agree to it, otherwise I don't give it to you. It's not a one size fits all approach because we're personal. It's like, hey, if you're not willing to work out 5 days a week, it doesn't matter if you can't. If you're not willing to, I could give you. It could be the best plan in the world. If you don't do it, it's worthless. And
Right.
so if you're not working with us, make one thing. Say, hey, I'm going to track one thing and start tracking. Track your water. That's easy. Water is wonderful. Distill water in glass bottles. Track your water. Drink half your body weight in ounces every day. So weigh 200 pounds, have 100 ounces of water a day. You can do it. And then whenever you do, I would say this, Cynthia, do this. Put your name on the refrigerator and put a star next to it every time you do it. And I want it to, by the end of the week, I want to see how many stars you got in the refrigerator. Obviously, you're not going to do that. We're not in kindergarten, but
I will be happy to do it. And I will not be sad when I don't make it 9 times out of 10. No, I'm only kidding.
because you don't care
Because
about
I am a
stickers.
Pepsi Zero addict. So, you
You got
know,
away from that. You got away from that, and then you started again, didn't
I
you?
did when I almost died, it came back. That's what they gave me. They said, you can
Yeah.
have anything you want. What would you like? I said,
Okay.
sugar-free sorbet, sherbet. And
Yeah.
because they had to feed it to me. And do you have Pepsi Zero? They said, no, we don't have that. We have Diet Coke. I said, I don't like that. So my friends would bring me, well, you almost died. They want to give you anything
Yeah.
that you can, or you can
Yeah.
have anything you want. So I would, and it's been now 2 years and I am not off it yet. So we're working on it. It's in progress.
You're
I
gonna.
only drink one and then I have to drink two waters, 64 ounces of water, and then I can have more if I want. So
That's good.
look,
I
we're
never.
being honest here, people.
Yeah, I
See,
like
I
honesty.
am not perfect.
Yeah. And
As
I'll
is
get this
my
too.
Pepsi Zero.
I'll get this. And what's funny is too, people go to judging. And so you know this. I don't want you to drink Pepsi Zero, but I'm not going to beat you over the head with it because you're going to do it, and it's not the worst thing you can do. So people a lot of times, and you know this, if you ask me what the health consequence for Pepsi Zero, I could go on a tangent for 10 minutes about it. Don't do that. Why? Because it doesn't matter anyway. It's going to shame you into something. It's hard anyway, and so journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. You do better today, and then you do better the next day. You're 10x better than you were when you first started. It's not even close. You're way better. Even with these health setbacks, you're way better than you were when you started. And so I don't do that. That's other podcasts I might just because people are different levels. And so if you're different level, I have a different conversation with myself than I do my nephew who's 15. There's different expectations. And so if somebody's getting ready for a show and they want to do, like we said earlier, you're going on a cruise, you ain't doing that because
No.
if you do, you're going to ruin it. And so it's where people are. People are like, I can't believe you'd give that person this. Well, you don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's at a different location. And so if one of my clients who hasn't drank diet soda in 10 years and they're a competitor, they start drinking, it'd be a different conversation. I'd be like, what are you doing? It's like me. If I started smoking cigarettes, you'd be like, Duh, why are you smoking a freaking cigarette? Right. Because I was above that. And same way with you. You're good at certain things that if this person did it, I would be like, no big deal. Right. If I found that, you haven't read your Bible in 3 months, I'd be like, Cynthia, what are you doing? Right. Now, other person, if they read their Bible every 3 months, once every 3 months, I'd be like, this is what? This is amazing. I didn't think they knew even how to spell
And I
Bible.
start to lie to him, people. No, I'm only kidding.
So anyway, I don't even. So I would say this: track one thing and do it. Track it every day, and then you can do better until you do better. So it's water, it's sleep, something that you can do every day. That's simple. I'm going to walk 5,000 steps a day. Make the go and do it every day. Be consistent. One of my buddies. Actually, I'll tell you this. You ever read the book Atomic Habits, James Clear?
Yes.
Probably
Yeah.
because Pastor Nicole did you. He's got a saying in there. It's not just saying; it's science. He said, if you're 1% better every day, and the end of the year, you'll be 37 times better. Which didn't resonate with me. I said 37 times better. If I was 1% better every day, I'd be 100% better in 100 days. So that's not the case because it's compounded. So it's one. I'm not going to get in the math, but I will. I'm going to do it. 1%. The first day is 1% better, and then the next day 1% better, and that would be 0.01. And so then it just keeps going up. So that's the reason why it's only 37 times. But nobody cares. But I do care because I'm thinking that's not math. That's not logical. It is logical. It's compound interest. That's the reason why whenever we get a credit card, they offer in the mail, and then they came in. I said, "My God!" I said, "Look at this, Tammy." I said, "It says we got qualified for this is an $18,000 credit card offer." And she said, "What's the interest rate?" And I said, "Well, it looks like it's 24%." And she said, "That's awful." And I said, "My God, I'm doing the math here, and that's 76% free money." Anyway, that's a joke. It didn't land well, but I thought it was hilarious. Anyway,
I always think you're hilarious,
yeah,
though.
you do. No matter
And
what, you're my
no matter
biggest.
what.
You're my
Um,
biggest fan.
that's why he keeps me around people.
Mhm.
So
If you laugh at my jokes,
I love the fact that you added the walking because I was going to say that.
good.
Those are the two things. And look, Don said 5,000. If you've been sitting on the couch and not moving, what I tell people is I said when I work with people who are very, very overweight,
Yep.
sometimes you can't, get up and walk around your house.
Hmm.
Get up and you can do that. You walk around your house fine, no problem. Go out, go to the end of the driveway, go to the corner and come back if you can't do it.
Hmm.
Do something. I will promise if you do that, I promise to drink more water and try and back off the Pepsi Zero. I am giving myself till July to drink Pepsi Zero. And then after this, no, and then after the
That's good.
surgery
That's
is
good.
done,
Yeah, that's
Dawn, I
good.
can't eat. Okay, can I have
Yeah, yeah,
something that
yeah,
give me a
yeah.
break?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tell you what, I'm going to bring shame back. Let's get shame off. Let's shame her. No, I,
It does not bother me. People have tried.
you,
I do not
you,
care.
you know what? That's the reason why. Because I said 5,000. That's the reason why you're the expert. Cynthia is my expert when it comes to people who want to lose. She lost 252 pounds. So who better? I could train everybody. I trained her. But in strange sculpting, we want people over every niche of fitness that are more qualified than me. And Cynthia is more qualified than me to tackle obesity because she walked through it and she lived through it and she's still living through it and she keeps getting skinnier all the time. She's gonna freaking blow away pretty soon. But I said 5,000, and that was just an arbitrary number. Obviously, it wasn't set in stone. And it wasn't Moses, writing the Ten Commandments, but it was a start. And what you did, though, you just made it relatable to somebody who I'm not relatable with as much as you are. Because everybody's not there. For me, 5,000 steps is a joke, right? But it's not a joke for everybody. And I'm not even saying that derogatory. It's like,
No, because so yes,
yeah.
when you say let me help put this in English for you. When he says it's a joke, he doesn't mean it's a joke that you can't. What he
Mm-hmm.
means is for him, 5,000 steps is a joke. Now, for me, 5,000 steps is a joke.
Yeah.
I try and my minimum, because I'm a little with the health challenge, my minimum is 6. I
Yep.
almost always get
You
7
do.
or 8.
Yeah.
One day I got 11. I was
Yeah.
very surprised at that one. So it's do what you can. And
Absolutely.
here's something that happened to me today, is the alarm clock went off at 6 o'clock. And I thought, oh, I do not, because we had church last night. I didn't go to bed till almost
Mm-hmm.
midnight. Like, oh, I didn't sleep enough. And then I thought, I'll go later. And as soon as I said that, my brain goes, no, you won't. No, you won't. So force yourself to do what you know you need to do. Little steps. Now, we're not
Yep.
saying to run, baby steps at a time. I walked to the gym. I worked out. I walked home. It was a little later than I wanted, but it's done. I love it. I love, I'm not a morning person, but I love working out in the morning because whatever your workout is, do it when it works best for you. But if you do it in the morning, it sets your day up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, first of all, if you work out really hard and you burn 800 and something calories while you're there, your choices for the day of food are always a little bit better because you
Mm-hmm.
think, what I try and do is when I eat something, besides looking at the macros of it, I think, how long is it going to take me to work this off?
That's good.
Like,
That's good.
it's just like working out on machines for about an hour and about a 45-minute, doing some cardio. And I'm like, am
Yeah.
I willing to have this satisfaction and give up that?
Yep.
Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not.
Yep, that's true. It's just this constant battle between what you want
Good
now.
and evil.
It is good and evil. It's what you want now versus what you want more. I want to be fit, but what do you want now? It's this constant battle. I think the key is obviously discipline, and that's what we want. Discipline yourself. If it's 2,000 steps, 1,000 steps, whatever that one thing is, discipline yourself to do it. People always want motivation. Motivate me, motivate me. No, motivation's a one night stand. Discipline is who you marry. You know what I'm saying? You marry this. You know what I'm saying? People motivate me, motivate me, motivate me. Motivation works as long as you're with me. You talk to me. I motivate you. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get in shape. But you got to be disciplined. And the problem is, what going back to this, we want to discipline ourselves to freaking read the whole book today. I'm going to read all the book today. No, you're not. I want to discipline myself to work out 2 hours in the gym. No, you're not.
No, you know.
Discipline yourself. Read the book for freaking 5 minutes. Pray for 5 minutes, whatever it is. Do something you're willing to do. You can do. You can discipline yourself. That start marking on the refrigerator as stars, like you're in kindergarten, and then say, "My God, I'm freaking killing it." Don't marry motivation. She's a whore. Marry discipline.
Shame on you, Donald Strange. I mean, and just, look, if you weigh, if you need to lose 50, 100 or more pounds, your discipline is iffy. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
iffy because you're already, look, when I weighed 430 pounds, I used to think I almost never dieted because I was
Yeah.
like, why
Yeah.
bother? It's going to take me forever to lose this weight. So I had to really, figure it out. I did have gastric bypass surgery. I do not suggest that I'm not, saying that's the way out. If you can do it if I would have known Don and what I know now, then I would be in a much better position because I wouldn't have all these health issues now if I didn't have that surgery. But do what you need to do to get that to that point, but force yourself. Nobody wants to wake up every day and go to the gym. Nobody wants to. But, well, when I say want to, I mean everybody wants to sleep in. How many times does your alarm clock go off, Don? And you say, oh,
My wife's goes off like 7 times, and I listen to it. I say, yeah, I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up. Yeah, sometimes she gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I get up 5 in the gym at 6, but sometimes she'll leave it on accident, leave it in the room because she's up at 5 o'clock no matter what. But she'll leave it in the room with her phone, and it's like it keeps going off. It's like I'll hit that blankety thing and hit it again. It's like I want to throw this out the window. I don't even know what I just feel bad about myself. I feel shameful now. Thank you,
don't.
Cynthia.
Remember, no shame. So, see, so even Don, who's a trainer, who's fit, who's handsome, and goes to the
My
gym all the
gosh,
time,
I
and has
keep going. Keep going. I
all the
feel like there needs to
people,
be.
the men are all envious. No, I'm only kidding.
Keep going. I love this. Flattery works with me. I tell people that all the time.
So, even he, doesn't, but that's the difference between caring enough about yourself
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that you do what you need to do every day to become the best you can.
That's right.
Our goal with our demographic
Yep.
is to make you as healthy and as strong as you can be.
Yep.
That's our goal.
That is. Well, Cynthia, I think you did you put a bow on it. I liked it. That was great. You did a nice bow. I'm proud of what you said. You cleaned it up
Thank you.
pretty well. You cleaned up
Thank
what
you.
I said pretty well. Now, all the offensive stuff I might have said, forgive me for, but Cynthia already cleaned it up. She's a genius. I hope you guys liked today's podcast. I think it was great. If you're interested in our services, in the show notes below, you'll find out Cynthia's information. You'll see my information. Follow us, share, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. You guys know that. But Cynthia, I want to give away something for you. You probably want the macro. Do you like the MyFitness thing again? You want the MyFitness thing? Give away that for free. I also have
Tell
some
me.
other. I have a
Tell me what you
new.
got. Let's see.
Actually, let's see something here.
Do you have something we haven't given away yet?
Yeah, let me think here because I might rush something I might
Okay,
rush something out.
thinking, just ignore the smoke that's about to
Yeah,
happen.
just talk amongst yourself for a second. I'm going to pull up what I've got coming in the future, and I will expedite the process to make sure this happens if you're interested in it. Because I think I've got two that are for a different demographic, like Built and Burn. It's my 10 supplements, building muscle mass and
Wait, can you
rapid
slow
fat loss.
down? We're not
Yeah.
at 1.5 speed. Say that
Okay.
again.
I said I got two coming up that's not gonna do anything. Built and burned, it's muscle mass. It's building muscle mass and dropping body fat very quickly, but it's not. It's with thermogenics, which I don't want to sell this. I'm not sell. I don't want to talk about with this group right now. I got a 12-week ab workout that I'm giving away. What else do I have? Hold on one second here. Let me look at my design thing. And like I said, just talk amongst yourself. Oh, you know what? I like
What?
this.
Tell
This is
me.
it. It's called, hold on. Why is this not working? See all projects home. There it is. There it is. Finally, Microsoft Word. It's called the Busy Man's and Woman's Meal Prep Guide. How to eat for results without living in the kitchen. What do you think about
Oh,
that?
I like that very much. Yes,
So we'll put that one out. We'll put that
that's
one
good.
out. So I'll put that in there, and that is probably one of the biggest ones I'm going to put out. It's good. So the Busy Man
Like
and
that. So
Woman's
that's a good one. We
Meal
don't have
Guide.
to give another one. I think that's a
Well,
good one for today because that's a big one. So let's give
yeah.
that.
I apologize, everybody had to wait for that, but it was worth the wait because if you guys click on the show notes below, the Busy Man's Meal Prep and Woman's Guide, it's going to help a lot. It's very, very good, very blunt, very easy to understand, and basic stuff. So if you're in a hurry, you know how to put it together.
Maybe you want to think about changing it to the busy persons.
Yeah, I kind of like the busy man's because I got busy man's and woman's. I got and woman's because busy man hits people. Busy persons doesn't hit people. It's busy
Okay.
man. And plus, whenever you read the Bible, you wouldn't say that God says, and let God made man. You wouldn't say, and God made persons. So
I
let's go with
know.
what the Bible says. And so I'm talking
All
about
right, let's
man.
do what I'm with what the Bible says.
I'm talking about mankind. And so busy
I'm with
man's
you. I'm only
and
kidding.
woman's. I know you are. And I could say busy woman's and man's, whatever you want,
No,
Cynthia.
I want the people to know I'm only kidding. I
I
love
know.
that.
I know
Because
you're
we are
kidding.
humans. It doesn't matter.
I know you just like teasing. You love to tease me. Well, I got my feelings hurt. I'll be honest with you. Okay,
I
guys,
do. He'll get
that's
over
it.
it. Love you all. Bye.
Talk to you later.
PM us. Let us know what you'd like to have some subjects if you'd like us to talk about. Let us know.
Yes, please.
Keep the faith. Stay strong. Keep pushing forward. This is Strange Sculpting's Weekly Resilience Podcast. See you next time.